So we have a new variant and we have new potential travel restrictions, but what does this mean for cruising? Hi there, I'm Ilana from the website lifewellcruise.com. Welcome back to my channel. Now, we've all heard the news by now. We've seen the headlines and we know there is a new variant that is wreaking havoc on our lives yet again. And if you're anything like me, you are sick and tired of hearing this. But it is a reality, so I thought we probably do need to talk about it. And we do need to talk about how this might affect cruises, at least, well, into the next few months. Now, this is all fairly new information and we don't know what's going to happen into the future, but I did want to kind of talk about, well, if cruises are safe, my personal opinions on them, and I think what we can expect, as well as maybe some tips, some things, well, that you might want to do into the near future, kind of to protect, well, those future cruises that you may have booked. So I have 5 points or tips in this video, and I also have a little bit of a special message, well, at the end of this video. If you do want to stick around, I definitely appreciate that. Now, before I get started, of course, I want to mention that if you do like this video, if you find it helpful, informative, or enjoyable in any way, then please do give the video a big thumbs up. I really do appreciate it, and please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Okay, let's get started. So first, let's talk about if cruising is going to be safe with this new variant. So first of all, we do know that most cruise lines are asking the majority of people to be vaccinated on their cruise ships. At the same time, there are protocols for testing before getting on a cruise. And I think that this in itself really does make cruising still, I think, the safest vacation that you can take. So I really do think that this will continue to be. And another thing that the cruise lines have shown is they're able to adapt the protocols, sometimes really quickly. So if they need to, I think that they will adapt those protocols based on science, based on CDC guidelines. And that might mean in some cases, we know that we do have to wear masks indoors on a lot of cruise lines. Some cruise lines are not requiring people to wear masks indoors at all times. Outside of eating and drinking, of course. So there is a variation. I don't know if we might see that change, but I do think we can expect that some of the protocols may change. I was hoping that the protocols would become easier into the new year, like after January, but I don't know. With this new variant, I think that we might see that the protocols will last it a little longer, and if need be, the protocols, at least in terms of masking, we might see that stay a little longer than some of us hoped. But the good thing is that the cruise lines, I still think, are going to be very safe vacations. Now, of course, I'm not an expert on this virus, but I have seen some good news in terms of antiviral drugs, in terms of generally the efficacy of the vaccine, even in terms of the possibility of having, well, vaccines that are going to be tweaked for the different variants. So hopefully we will see this, and this is all going to be something that at least into the next year is going to be helpful. Now, personally, I think that cruises will continue through this variant unless there's some major change, but they have continued through Delta, have done a very good job, so I expect that to continue. But something I think that we should expect potentially and be prepared for as cruise travelers is the potential for cruise itinerary changes. So ports of call can change, and they've been changing up until now. So this may continue to happen. We also, I think, should be prepared. Well, I think I would book cruise line excursions if you do want to get off the ship. You can always do them as a bit of a backup plan, but in some cases we may find that as it gets closer to the cruise that we may have to take the cruise line excursions to get off. Now, the cruise lines haven't said this, so I don't want anyone to get stressed out about it, but I'm just thinking, I guess, in terms of being prepared, because I'm like that. I like to be a little bit prepared. If you're like that, it might be something that you want to consider. Now, I do have a cruise booked for the end of this year. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm going to continue with those plans. I have 2 cruises booked for 2022, and I'm going to continue with those plans as well. I'm not really stressed about it, but I do have a couple of tips. So one, I think that we should continue to book with refundable deposits. I think as much as possible, just to allow yourself as much flexibility as possible. At the same time, try and book cruise line air whenever possible, or book air where you know that you do have flexibility in terms of refunds. So I think we just need to continue to build flexibility into our vacations. Now, I do hope that the cruise lines also extend some of their flexible cancellation policies. In a lot of the cases, those were going to be ending, if I'm not mistaken, in like March or April. So hopefully that will continue further along just to reassure people, well, for our cruise bookings. Now, if you want to err on the side of caution, I would probably cruise closer to home for the next couple of months and maybe avoid international travel, because of course of the variant, but also just because of the uncertainty and maybe different travel restrictions and different travel regulations. But if you are cruising, like maybe you're planning a Mediterranean cruise, in the summer of 2022, or you have a cruise booked in several months or even next year, I wouldn't really stress about it right now. There is a lot of unknown, but at the same time, we know how things can change drastically in just a few weeks or a couple of months. Now, I've seen some comments about cruise line stocks and how they've gone down and what this means. Well, and I'm not a financial advisor, and of course this is not financial advice, but this could be a really good time for you to pick up 100 shares of your favorite cruise line stock. Now, in case you don't know, when you have 100 shares of Norwegian Cruise Line Holdings, Royal Caribbean Group, or Carnival Corporation, well, when you go on any of the cruise lines within their umbrella, you actually get quite a nice onboard credit when you do sail with them if you are a shareholder of at least 100 shares. So it could be a really good time to buy these shares. If you didn't buy them early in the shutdown, I actually did that. Please let me know if you own any shares, if this is a time that you might add some more. If you bought them early on, please let me know in the comments below the video. Now, I do have a question for you in just a minute, but before I do, I did have a little message for you. I wanted to say a very sincere thank you for 25,000 subscribers. At the beginning of this pandemic, the shutdown, we were at about 300 or maybe 700 subscribers. It has grown so much, and really it is thanks to you. So thank you so much for watching the videos, for liking, for subscribing, of course, for your comments. I have really enjoyed chatting with you back and forth over this last year. I really do hope that we are on our last leg of this pandemic and we only have good cruising going forward. But through it all, I have really appreciated all of your support. The cruise community, I always say people that cruise are the friendliest, best people, and I really know it when I do see the comments below the video. And again, Frank and I really thank you. And we look forward to more videos that we will make, more cruises that we will show you, and well, continued growth into the new year and beyond. So I thought we could make this a discussion in the comments. I really would like to hear from you. What do you think is going to happen with this new variant? Do you expect certain changes to come to cruising? Do you think it's going to be maybe easier than we think? Do you think it's going to be worse than we think? Oh, I hope not. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you did like this video, please do give it a big thumbs up. I really do appreciate it. And of course, if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, what are you waiting for? Please go ahead and subscribe. I'd love to have you here within the Life While Cruise community. Bye for now, and happy cruising.